Hello, and welcome to our discussion on an overview of writing and the writing process. The ESL/EFL Writing for Academic and Professional Success is a low-level advanced writing course. You will learn the basic essay forms and revision and editing techniques. You will gain critical thinking skills and get a grammar review. The materials in this course will help you develop and refine your communication and writing skills. You will learn how to generate ideas, focus those ideas by topic narrowing, and develop ideas from pre-writing into a complete essay. You will also learn about the various writing modes. In addition, you will learn how to achieve better organization and clarification of ideas, and produce papers free of grammatical and mechanical errors. Today you're going to get a brief overview of writing. You will also discover what in the end you need to do to learn how to write well. So get ready and enjoy learning. Speaking versus writing. Are they similar or different? Have you ever wondered if there is a difference between writing and speaking? Your immediate response may be yes. Some may say writing is more formal. Others may say writing is more accurate than speaking. Well, that might be true, but it is not everything. In conversation, we use our body language to add to our meaning. In a conversation, we have an opportunity to explain ourselves, to make sure that the listener is following, and to provide immediate responses to the listener's questions and need for clarification. In writing, we do not have this luxury. We have only one chance to make our point. If we are not clear and to the point, we will lose our one and only chance. Also, when you speak with people and make statements, people you're speaking with do not always challenge you to give reasons for your statements. They may know why you say what you say, or they may not want to put you on the spot, so they do not always question your reasons for the way you feel. On the other hand, people who read your writings might not know you, argue with you, or agree with you. On the other hand, people who read your writings might not know you, agree with you, or know why you think they do. On the other hand, people who read your writings might not know you, agree with you, or know why you think the way you do. Consequently, if you want to communicate with them effectively, you must support any point you make with strong and solid evidence. Therefore, you need to support any idea that you write with reasons, evidence, and details. Unlike speaking, writing is not a natural activity. Contrary to what some believe, no one is born a writer. All of us, including well-recognized authors, have to go through learning how to write. We all have to practice a great deal before we can produce any written paper. Unlike other language skills, writing is unique in that it expresses displacement of space and time. Displacement means that the writer takes the readers to a different time and a different place. The writer transmits a message from one place to another and from one point in time to another. Because of this nature, the writer's message has to be clear, explicit, accurate, and as most writers hope, the message has to be perfect. We cannot, as we often can in speaking, cover up what we do not know. We cannot change what we have written, and we cannot correct any misunderstandings once our writing has reached the reader. Since we do not have the chance to retell our already written words, once they reach the reader, we ought to make sure that our writing has a clear purpose and is without errors. This demands precision of language, logical structure, and clear focus. Although this is not easy, with persistence and practice, you can and will accomplish it. In the ESL environment, writing students often have difficulties with sentence structure and with grammar. This may negatively influence the overall writing quality. Grammar, therefore, is an essential resource for ESL writers in order to produce accurate and effective communication. Therefore, you will need to review all your grammar knowledge and improve upon it before you can produce well-written essays. The purpose of writing. We must always keep in mind that we are writing for a reader who is not physically present. Because our reader is not present and perhaps unknown to us, we have to ensure that the reader will understand what we have written without further help from us. This is the reason for the care we have to take with writing and its purpose. Why do you write? Do you write personal letters, memos for your company, reports for your boss? Whatever it is that you write, the purpose for writing must be clear in order for your readers to understand your message. A clear purpose plays a significant role in writing effectively. Here are some reasons why you may write. To express yourself. You record your personal feelings and experiences in a diary, journal, a poem, or even song lyrics. This writing is primarily for your own enjoyment. I, for example, keep a diary. Every evening I sit down and write my feelings and reactions to the events of the day. Have you ever tried to do that? Try it. It is fun. It will also improve your writing skills. To persuade. This is perhaps the most serious, since your main goal is to persuade your readers and convince them of your viewpoint through arguing. Here, you use sound reasoning and solid evidence to convince your readers to agree with your point of view on an issue that has more than one side to it. Your purpose is to influence and to persuade your readers to change their minds or to take a particular action. Examples of this would be articles and essays in the opinion section of a local newspaper. You will also find many persuasive essays in any writing textbook you read. To inform. You provide specific information to help educate your readers about a particular topic. You might explain how something happens, how something works, or why a problem exists. For example, if you want to explain to your reader how to register for a class in college, you will be writing to inform. And finally, you write to entertain. Your main goal could be to create enjoyment for the reader. This may include the use of humor, romance, or suspense. Examples of this kind of writing would be in the novels or short stories that we read. I am sure you've encountered this form of writing. Let us look at the audience in writing. Imagine you've just had an amazing experience. You were able to save someone's life by performing CPR. You want to share the experience with 3 people, your father, your best friend, and the admissions officer at your first choice college. How will you describe what happened? Will that description be the same for each person? Probably not. Although the subject remains a constant, each person is a different audience requiring different word choices, levels of formality, and tone. Because you are sharing the experiences with these 3 people for different reasons, the purpose of your description changes too. You might tell your father to let him know that his advice about taking a CPR class was invaluable. To your friend, you might stress the emotions the experience evoked. In your college application essay, you place an emphasis on the experience's revelation of your competent and responsible nature. Audience and purpose not only determine how you write, they shape your content or what you write as well. Therefore, the first step to writing better essays is to understand who you're writing for and why you are writing. An overview of the writing process. We write in several stages. Only very few writers, if any, can sit down and write a well-written essay at first trial. Everything that I have published, I had to write and rewrite 4, 5, and 6 times. For most of us, we have to think, write, rethink, and rewrite several times before we can produce an effective paper. Therefore, writing is a process that involves at least 4 distinct steps: pre-writing, drafting, revising, and editing. It is known as a recursive process. While we are revising, we might have to return to the pre-writing stage to develop and expand our ideas. Two main frames of thinking dominate your writing process. The first involves the creation and generation of ideas to write about. The second involves the critical evaluation of those creative ideas that you have generated. The first part of this course will help you understand and apply the creative writing process. It will involve activities such as brainstorming and clustering to generate thinking. You will want to refrain from criticizing or judging your ideas and initial words. Instead, concentrate on freeing yourself up to be as creative as you want. The second part of the course will address the critical evaluation of your writing. This involves re-evaluating the ideas you have written down so far, looking at ways they may need to be more focused, and making sure that you have chosen the correct words and polishing your grammar and punctuation. In this frame of thinking, you will be critiquing, revising, and editing your work. Pre-writing is the first step in the writing process, and this involves anything you do before you write a draft of your document. It includes thinking, taking notes, talking to others, brainstorming, outlining, gathering information, for example, interviewing people, researching in the library, assessing data, and any other means to focus your thoughts around your purpose for writing. For example, if you're required to write an essay about a most memorable day, you might begin to think of a day that you will always remember and list the reasons why you'll always remember that day. You will write a list of as many events as you want. Any event that took place on that day. Secondly, you will need to cluster and narrow down these events to the most intriguing and interesting events. Write down the events and the reasons why they are interesting. Before starting to write, making an outline can help organize the ideas. An outline is a logical, general description of what you will write. It is a summary and a visual design of your writing. Your outline will reflect your logical thinking and your clear classification. Why do you need to write an outline? It will help you to organize your ideas and present your material in a connected form. Your outline will guide you through the actual writing of the essay. It will probably look something like this. There will be an introduction. You will have your topic, your thesis statement. For example, the most important day I remember in all my life is one on which. Then you'll have your first event. You will describe the event and give detail. The second event, you will then describe that event and give the detail. You do the same for the third event. And finally, your conclusion, in which you restate your idea and you close. Drafting. Drafting occurs. Drafting. The actual writing of the first draft involves the formation of the idea or ideas developed in the previous stage. Drafting occurs when you put your ideas into sentences and paragraphs. Here you concentrate upon explaining and supporting your ideas fully. You also begin to connect your ideas. Regardless of how much thinking and planning you do, the process of putting your ideas in words changes them. Often the very words you select evoke additional ideas or implications. Following your outline, you would now start writing your first draft. You should have a strong thesis statement in your introductory paragraph. This sentence will guide you along with the outline through the writing of your paper. Your thesis statement will state the main point of your essay at the start. A thesis statement is a sentence or two that shows the purpose of the essay, indicates the basic components of the essay, and offers your unique perspective on the topic about which you are writing. Once you have written your introductory paragraph, you will now develop your idea in the body of the essay, giving as many details as you can to make your essay interesting. At the drafting stage, the draft tends to be writer-centered. It is you telling what you know and think about the topic. You don't need to pay much attention to such things as spelling, but pay more attention to the purpose and focus of your work. Revising. Revision is the key to effective documents. Here you think more deeply about your readers' needs and expectations. The document becomes reader-centered. How much support will each idea need to convince your readers? Which terms should be defined for those particular readers? Is your organization effective? Do readers need to know X before they need to know Y? At this stage, you will give a final form to your writing. You will make sure that the voice you give is consistent. It could be serious, intellectual, or funny. Also, when you revise the paragraphs you wrote and your conclusion, you need to polish what you want your readers to know. You will want to pay particular attention to whether you remain focused on your topic or whether you strayed from it. If you strayed, you will omit irrelevant points or details. You will perhaps need to add some new details as well. You will need to make sure that all the supporting details you give are important and relevant to the main ideas. Refine your prose, making each sentence as concise and accurate as possible. Make connections between ideas explicit and clear. Editing. At the editing stage, you need to check for the effectiveness of the transitions between ideas and between paragraphs. Transitions can be words or phrases, and they are important because they unite your essay and make it flow easily, showing the link between a thought and the one that follows it. If, for example, you want to signal an addition and make it flow easily, you would use words such as in addition. If, for example, you want to signal an addition, you would use words such as in addition, furthermore, moreover, also, equally important. If you want to show a contrast, you would use words such as however, on the other hand, although, but. If you want to conclude, you would use words like therefore, thus, in conclusion. You usually put a transition at the beginning of the paragraph to connect it to the previous one. One very useful way to create a transition sentence is to identify a keyword or phrase in the previous sentence and repeat it in your transition sentence. Do not overuse this technique, however, or you will have too much repetition. You will also need to check for the development of any generalized ideas and the supporting information, such as details, illustrations, and examples. You must check for things such as grammar, mechanics, and spelling. For instance, fragments, run-on sentences, comma splices, cliches, verb tenses, etc. And now your paper is ready for your readers to read. In summary, how does it feel now that you have finished your first lesson? I hope that you have more confidence about writing than when you started. I believe that once you know the trick, you will find it easy, and with practice it becomes even easier. I hope that you are now excited about writing and eager to practice. In this lesson, we talked an overview of writing and the writing process. We learned about the major differences between speaking and writing. We also learned some techniques that will help us write well, such as keeping a journal, reading, and keeping a portfolio. Additionally, we discussed the purpose of writing and why some of us view writing as a difficult task. We talked about the process of writing, from pre-writing as a first stage to editing as the last stage.